you turn it on?
Yeah.
Oh, so I'm live.
Yes, you are live.
I am live. I'm live? Me? Hi, I'm Tiffany. Welcome to my quilting live. It's Sunday, where we sew on a Sunday. So, Sunday, get it? It's in the title. I'm just kidding. Anyways, I just literally opened this, so give it 2 seconds. Because, it takes a second to load. Loady load. 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 Come on. Whew. Well, now. Okay, let's exit and go back in then. Maybe it'll work. Ah, it works. Got Diane, Shirley, Lilamore, Tracy, Crystal, Norma, Robin, Kim, Heather, Julie, Freddie, Cat Lady Who Sews, Donna, Linda, Charlene, Dawn, and so many more. Welcome. Thank y'all for joining. And before you ask, I can sit. My back is fine, but my butt is not saved by my stupid shot. So far. I mean, they said it takes 5 days. I had it done on Wednesday. So, we will see. But anyways, most of this is going to be standing anyway, because as you can tell, I've laid it all on the wall. Now we need to put it together. So if you didn't know and you haven't been here for the last two videos, and this is the third, we're working on the Windy Garden. I had a kit. It's a Windy Garden pattern by Bound to Be Quilting with fabric from the Cottage Bouquet collection by Maywood Studio. And it's very pretty. Not my normal color scheme, for me personally, like if this was my quilt, but I mean, it does have blue and purple in it. So it's, looks great. So I'm doing this, and today should be the last day because hopefully we can get it all put together in today's live. If not, I'm not going to waste you guys' time by dragging it out any more videos. I'll just show you what the finished top looks like. But I'm hoping that I'll be able to do it in 2 hours. We'll see, because I got to put all the pieces and parts together. And I just cut the border pieces out. I actually didn't sew anything together. So that's all going to be done right here before your very eyes. So right now, it looks like there's sashing in it only because my wall is white. But there is not. So what I need to do now is take the white and go on all the sides where you see white on camera. I need to put white here. I'm going to put white on each side first. Then I'm going to make a row with the white on each side again, so on and so forth until it's all done. I do have it laid out on the wall the way the pattern shows it. I'm pretty sure of that. Yep. I'm pretty sure of that. So I'm doing it as the pattern says. So I'm going to start by taking the big blocks and putting my sashing that I had already pre-cut. And I also laid it all to where the tone on tone is facing right side up. So that way I don't get myself all, hey, which side is right side and wrong? All I have to do is put them right sides together and I'll have it correct. So I'm going to start doing that. And I'm going to stand to sew to do this because it's easier for me when it comes to building something off of the wall to just stand for the whole thing. Plus, it's better on my butt. So all this stuff should have been my exact same size that needed to be. I am sewing with the correct stitch length. I'm going to do all 3 of them on the top row and then put the one on the one side and so on and so forth. That way, I just chain piece instead of one at a time. But I will have Mr. Iron Man turn the iron on.
Are we soon ready?
Well, yeah, because as soon as I pull that one and get that on there, I'm going to need these pressed.
Oh, okay.
All the blocks came out the size they were supposed to, so that's a plus. Me, sometimes it doesn't. And you too, same thing in your world. Sometimes they don't always come out what they say they are. And that's okay. Work it in if it didn't. If it's way too small, then just trim everything else to that size. But I should be correct the whole way. Hopefully. So now I'm going to grab this first piece and I'm going to put a piece on the opposite side of it. It's all still hooked together. I don't really need to do anything else. I'm just going to keep it all hooked together. And then this is piece one. So I'm going to go ahead and press these away from or towards the sashing, even though I don't like to do that because it's white, but that was the second piece and that was the third piece. No, this was the second piece and that was the third piece. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead now.
Am I ironing or you?
Oh, I got it. That's fine. And press these off.
Turn the camera?
Oh, you don't need to turn the camera. I'm putting right back on the wall where they go. Actually, no, I'm going to put them together. Just going to lay it right here. That one's going to hook to this one, but I want to press this first. Hold on, I'll hold it up 2 seconds. Yes, plenty. Press this one, and I'm going to hook them together. Since it's right here in front of me, I'm literally going to put these on here first, and then I'll add the other one to the top. I'll open it. Grab the other side, put it on there. And so. Trying to keep the seams from flipping on the way as well. That way if your seams stay the way you've pressed them and they don't flip, like some of these are flipped, and they don't flip, it actually lays flatter. So that way when you go to quilt it, you quilt a little bit smoother instead of coming over, especially if you're free motion quilting sit down, it comes over these big humps. And you don't want that. So try to make sure the seams stay the way you press them. It's kind of hard with all the way this one was, but pressing towards the sashing. Which is kind of hard to do at this moment. Stay right there. Okay. So it goes with the green on the outside first. So this row is sewn together. And it's probably not laid very flat up here, but that's what we're going to do. And then I'm going to take these down and I'm going to hook them together, the cornerstones for the top row. So it's one of these on the outside and one of these. Flip it over, put one of these on the end. They're long enough to be able to do that. Open it up. I'm pressing towards the sashing on everything. The next one on it. flip it up, put another one on it.
Your hourglass blocks from your binding.
The size of what?
Hourglass blocks from your binding.
Size of the hourglass blocks from the binding. I have no idea what you're talking about. I'm sorry.
2 inches.
Oh, my hourglass. Yeah, those are 2-inch blocks. Ish. I haven't cut them all down yet, just in case you guys were curious. I have these bins. They haven't been cut down yet, but they are about 2 1/4 at the moment. Some are bigger, just depending on how big the binding was. But like this one's like 2 1/2. But it wasn't all just binding cutoffs. It was triangles from all sorts of things. So like this one was left over. How will I lay them out? Well, I don't know yet because I have 2 bins that are completely full. And under my desk, they're just falling because, you know, there is a giant disaster of them under there. So when I get to it, you guys will know when I do that. When I finally get that one done. Wait, are these all laying the same exact direction? That's a blue right there. Wait, why does this one look different? Blue is not touching. Is this one going the wrong direction? Oh, this goes that way. Okay. The blue is touching that side. The white is touching that side. I was going to say, I knew I sewed them all in the correct direction. All right, I'm just going to snip it apart, and here is a row of sashing. I'm going to press towards the sashing. I don't like pressing towards sashing when it's white, but I cannot control that with this pattern. Well, unfortunately, I can't reach that high, so I'm going to sew it on now. Nope, I'm going to sew it on now and then put it back on the wall. I'm not even going to pin it because when do I ever really do that? I'm just going to be very careful. I'm going to watch my seams. It's going to hold them at the next, junction. Nest it. And since it's all pressed towards the sashing, it lines up just right. Grab my next seam. Just hold it as if it was a pin. Sew a little bit. Hold it as if it was a pin. And then I'll press it towards the sashing. And then I will have Scott help me hang this one back up until we complete the rest of it. This could just stay on the wall.
So I get to help with that?
Yeah, so let me press this.
All right. Time to get Iron Man in action.
My seams have nested just beautifully. Oh, look at that one. Looks great. Almost looks great.
Oh, no.
Looks absolutely fabulous and looks fabulous. Only one of them is a little tiny bit whatever, but guess what? I don't care. All right.
That's good.
I'm just going to put it up.
Up and away?
About right here. That's perfect. Can't reach.
I got you. I got you covered.
Thank you.
You are most welcome.
All right. Next row is a row of sashing again. Except I'm not going to piece it on there because I don't want to take that down until we have the rest of it all situated. All right. I like that I took the time to put all the tone on tone right side up so that I don't get confused. And I shouldn't have hit that pedal. I just knew it because we're on live stream and the thread was going to come undone. Let's try that again. I'm just going to snip apart each time. All right, again, pressing towards the long sashing part, the white, not the pinwheel. And then I'll just put it on the wall until all the parts and pieces are together.
Oh, that is looking cool.
That's too long, but we're gonna work it in.
Yeah, how did that come out way long?
Yeah, it's because not everything is perfect. So Scott made a good point. Why is this piece longer than this? But yet all these were cut exactly the same. That's because when you put things together, shifting and adjusting happens. So either I didn't press this fully or this, I didn't sew an exact 1/4 inch seam. So I have a little bit of fullness that's going to happen between here and here. Right there. It's a little bit of fullness that's going to happen right there. And I am going to work that in because that's how I do that. And when I quilt it, you'll never know. But if it's too much, then don't, I would just take the seam in just a smidgen bigger. That way it takes a little bit more to one side or the other when that happens. And it will happen because, again, we are not perfect. And I'm standing to sew and not sitting. So I do have a lot of tug going on, which is not normal. Normally, you're supposed to put your row on your lap so that way nothing gets pulled and tugged.
Is it just when the seams are pressed open?
So the seams can be pressed open on long arming, no problem. It's difficult when the seams are pressed open to stitch in a ditch or any custom work because as soon as, and it happened on Ian's quilt, I did his gravity quilt, and while I was stitching, all his seams were pressed open. I was stitching in a ditch and it popped 2 threads in a row, and then as soon as I started quilting the rest, it pops it right open. So I have to unpick that area and glue it back together. Just know you have to not stitch in the ditch or do custom work. So if you plan to do custom work or stitch in a ditch or anything like that, press to one side or the other. That way your thread goes along the ditch. So here's, the seam is on this side. You're going to be stitching in that ditch and it's going to catch, it's going to feel, and it's going to sit right in the ditch. So just know that custom quilting and open seams are not always a good thing at all, whatsoever. And sometimes it'll hit that way too. Like if I was doing a custom design and all the seams were pressed open, and say I'm just doing something, but I came around and the stitch for the meander, just say, came right through that seam and it just went across it and landed perfectly in that seam. It could also split the seam right then and there as well. And I don't have the time to take off the whole entire quilt off the frame, resew that seam, press that seam, after ripping everything that I was just doing out. It's impossible. So just beware. If you plan to custom quilt something, keep your seams one way or the other. It helps. Trust me. And I do a lot of custom quilting for people, so I'm going to say 98% of them actually press their seams one way or the other. The other 2% press their seams open, and that's just the way they piece. And I work around it most of the time. All right, that's on one side.
How's Maxine doing?
Maxine is doing good. Up and moving around. She's getting ready to go back to work in a few days.
She's cancer free.
Yep, she's 100% cancer free. And they'll keep an eye on her for the next 5 years with scans and so on and so forth. So she is good to go. She is going to be starting counseling, though, to help her with the fact that she'll never have children, because that part of her was removed, you know, but at least not naturally, you know. But most people have to go through that when they're young and have hysterectomies. And that's okay. Nothing to be ashamed of going to counseling. I've had to go to counseling before. I've also had a hysterectomy, so at a young age. That's why Scott and I don't have any kids. All right. And before I press it, just add this one. Press that towards the sashing. The only reason I don't like quilting in the summertime, you guys want to hear it? Because it's 100 degrees in this room. Whew. This iron does not make. I mean, they need to come up with a heatless iron that still irons things. Some kind of heatless iron that uses some kind of, like, you shake it like you know those gel packs that get warm?
Yeah.
You know, you remember those things? They shake them at the hospital. It's warm on you. They need that, but an iron. You know, where you just shake it and the iron is warm. You know, and then it just cools back down until you shake it again. I mean, seriously, Arizona and quilting is not a good blend. Unless you have the money to make your electric bill down to like 60 degrees while you're working.
Yeah, well, nobody has
that. That would overpower the air conditioning unit and break it.
You'd have to have 5 ACs for it to do that. You couldn't.
Yep, you'd have to have all the ACs going at once.
You'd put out all the power in the town if you did that.
Yeah, you would. Yeah, it's quilting and Arizona are like the hardest combination. I'm sure it's the same in a lot of like other warm places or very humid places as well, but humid places are easy because you just run a swamp cooler. Here, there's no humidity. It's dry and hot. And I can tell you already, I'm not even barely second row in, and I'm hot. I need to make some more tank tops is what I need to do. All right, add one more. Put it on the wall, and my hair is tickling my leg. All right. That would be a neat idea. The gel things that they use at the hospital to get warm, like a shaky type of gel thing. I just thought that's like a super smart thing. That would be awesome. And then it wouldn't be hot. And then people wouldn't burn themselves as often. That would be crazy. I just gave an inventor an idea. Now let's see if it comes out in the next 20 years. Next one. I didn't grab them all off the wall like I normally would. So what's everybody up to? What you sewing? Anybody
Are your cornerstones 2.5-inch pinwheels?
Are my cornerstones 2.5-inch pinwheels? No. And if I was able to tell you, I would. But let's just say they're bigger.
Okay,
Yeah, I'm not allowed to tell you. It's not my pattern. But I can tell you they're no bigger than a 1/2 inch bigger. I'm not gonna love quilting this one because everything is showing under the white. All this blue thread from every fabric, you know, being a shreddy, every fabric shreds a little bit, and all the blues are getting under all this white. I'm gonna have to be very cautious about how many times I hold this up so it doesn't start fraying like crazy, you know? Because the more it frays, the more amount of stuff I'm gonna have to pick out while I'm quilting it from underneath. It's a good thing I have that tiny, tiny little crochet hook. That's if I even get to quilt it this year. It'll probably hang in the closet for a long time.
Have you quilted your dream quilt?
Have I quilted my dream quilt? Nope, it's still dreamy in the closet. Yeah, that I really need to get some stuff. I still haven't quilted Sculliver because it didn't get done before the show that I wanted to enter it in. And now it's there. It's got batting already cut for it. The backing is made and the quilt top is ready. I even bought the, what is it called? The curtain rod or dowel that we use when I hang quilts. That's going to go in the living room. We bought that. And now we just need to hang the Dream Big Panel quilt up because that's going to alternate with Sculliver when it gets done. But I've been having these like visions that I didn't custom quilt Sculliver very good. Instead, in my dream, I'm straight stitching them across and doing straight stitch quilting, which is probably easier. And, you know, getting it done purposes, I could have it knocked out in a day instead of customing it and then taking like a week to do it. We'll see what I do with it.
Were the fabrics from a kit or did you select them?
Nope, they are from the kit, which is down there on the floor. It fell.
I will show them.
It's Cottage something Maywood Studio.
Are you waiting for the rest of the dream to tell you how to quilt it?
You know, sometimes my dreams tell me how to do something. Sometimes just staring at something tells me how to do something. That's the pattern. It was a kit. And you can still find the pattern on the Bound to Be Quilting website. And the fabric is Cottage Bouquet by Maywood Studio, which was, I think there was a date on some of this. I think it said 2022. So you might still be able to find it like on Etsy or something. The fabric, at least. I don't see a date on any of these pieces. Either way, that's what it was.
dream quilt?
My dream quilt is
Maybe we'll have
a
to pull it out and
giant,
then.
huge quilt. I could pull it out and show you guys.
Maybe later.
Just, yeah, it would be later. Because I'm trying to get this done at least. Press it, add the next, press it, add the next, press, add the next.
Can I just add fabric to each block I'm doing, or does it have to be like you are doing?
Can you just add fabric to each block? You can. You don't have to add sashing separately afterwards. You could totally build each block with the sashing on it. So a side and a bottom. This is how I always used to build it. Build it on the side, put your cornerstone, and then build your bottom on every single block. That means your whole left side and your whole bottom of your quilt will be done. The only thing you need to make a sashing for is the top and right of the quilt. Think about it. So much easier. I'm just doing it like this because that's the pattern, and I'm making the pattern for you guys, so to see how it's done. Of course, this is a way a lot of people do it too as well. But in the past, I've just made it by building the sashing onto the quilts. I find it quite easy to do. And then you don't even need to even remember how it's going to lay out or anything if you build it that way. You just know that the piece goes on every side, or every left side and every bottom of every single block. And then you'll just piece your top and your right side. You still have to cut out all the pieces though, and you know, figure out what layout you want first before you even sew them on. Unless you are just doing something scrappy, you know. Then I don't think it really matters at all. I have some black stuff got on one of the pieces. All right here, there's oil. Fabric, clean it up. Sorry guys, we had some oily substance going on. We're using white fabric, so we don't want it getting on everything. It's not the oil that goes in my tray, or it could be. I don't know. I think it's from the bar that goes up and down, the needle. Come on off of there. There's a little piece right here. Come on. All right, press. I got it. All right, this row can get put back. Woo! These up. Uh-huh. All right. These. Yep. just not thinking. All right, after this, one more row and one more sashing, and then I can put it together. I'll probably pin just to work in that row that's a little on the wonky looking side.
Whoa, Tiffany's going to pin.
Just so that I can work it in easier.
They better take pictures.
You guys hear him. Tiffany's gonna pin? You better take pictures. Alright. I'm gonna make the one on the bottom first real quick.
You need a hand down there?
Oh.
You okay?
Yep.
They said you're a pod person, you know, pod people.
On what?
A pod person, you know, pod people.
I don't know what that is.
The movie, did it change? Did people in aliens? Never mind.
Oh, I don't even remember. That went over my head. Alright, now we'll just toss this aside. Quick, we push these towards the white, please.
Oh, now I get to iron.
Well, yeah, that way I don't have to bend down. I'm just gonna put this all
Towards the
on
white?
here towards the white. You
So
know.
that one I have to go that way and then this way?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
We do it all complicated?
Yep. It's all complicated.
Okay.
Thank you.
Done,
Set it
boss.
right there.
Done.
One. Go to. Very pretty quilt. The plastic tubs on the shelves are my scrap ends. So they're by size though. So that means
So we
there's
got a video
bins
of
that
them.
there's
How do you
videos of
organize
it, how I organize my room. So it starts at 1 inch, 1.5, 2 inch, 2.5, 3 inch, 3.5, 4 inch, 4.5, 5 inch, 5.5, 6 inch, 6.5, 7, 7.5, 8, 8.5, no 9 inch, no 9.5 inch, and 10 inch. Only because I don't use 9 or 9.5 or anything. Of course, the numbers now have beyonded this shelf, so this is just some of the random ones that fit in these size bins. The rest of everything is now in bigger bins that are still in the other room because I haven't gotten a chance to clean this room yet. When I get this room cleaned, then I will reorganize how my box stuff sits on the shelf. Oh, and then there's 1.5 inch strips, 2.5 inch strips, and so on and so forth. Like, trust me, I cut a lot. I have 2.5 by 4.5, 2.5 by 6.5, 2.5 by 8.5. Like, literally, I cut it all. I make all sorts of pre-cuts, so it helps because then I could say, oh, wait a second, this tub right here, just by opening it, you can see these are 2.5 by 8.5. Put 4 of them together and make bunches of blocks with 4 of them together, and then you have a rail fence at any time. Also, these are the size for a log cabin. So anytime I want to make a scrappy log cabin, then if I just grab these right here, the 2.5 by 4.5 right here, I can make piano keyboarders. I can grab it and make potato chip blocks. I can grab it and obviously, again, I could make log cabins, scrappy log cabins. If you start with 2.5, then you have the 2.5, 4.5, 2.5, 6.5, 2.5, 8.5. And then you have that in the lighter, in like a white or a background color. I can literally make what I want whenever I feel like it because of all these tubs. And yes, I do take the time to cut all of my stuff up. Why? Because I can. So anytime I want to make a rail fence or something, I can just do that. You know, if I want to make like my 1 inch squares, I'm making a triple Irish chain out of 1 inch squares, just little by little. It's not something I'm like forcefully doing myself all the time, but it gives me things to do. And you can make whatever you want with whatever size you want as long as you know quilt math. And quilt math is easy. So 2 and 2 is not 4. 2 and 2, so 2 blocks that are 2 inches each, is 3.5 inches. So if you want to hook 4 2.5 inch or 2 inch squares together, you hook 4 of them together, you get a 3.5 inch square. So the square that you're gonna put next to it is 3.5 inches. Super easy, super easy. Oh, I need this. How do I have 1 extra? I don't know. I did cut an equal amount. Did I just flip that? Yes, I did. I put the one on the other end too. Okay, and I made the bottom piece. I guess I just have 1 extra. And I guess I'm not sewing either. Oh, it was threaded. I was out of bobbin. And I just unthreaded it as well. Go figure. Yeah, I make all of my own pre-cuts. So like when I feel like I need to make something for a video for you guys, when I get an idea in my head, I'm like, oh, I wonder if this will work. I will go through my pre-cuts until I figure out how it works and how it lays out, and then I show you guys how to make it in a video. You know, so I always have whatever I want to choose to make whatever. My 5 inch squares are now organized though by the kind of fabric that it is. So if it's a blender or flowers or leaves or whatever, they're all in sections that are all that. And then my 2.5 inch strips or jelly roll strips are also organized because I can make my own jelly rolls from my 2.5 inch pre-cut strips. So I make jelly rolls because, you know, now it's organized to where I can grab and create my jelly rolls easier. Which there will be a video eventually coming out about that. I obviously had a few days down, so I didn't get any filming time done this week. This past week that just happened. I actually got a lot of well-needed rest. And maybe I'll sleep better once our new bed gets here too. I got sleeping goals, you know? I want to sleep better. All right, I'm gonna press these. I'm gonna attach this to the bottom of it. Oh, well, that didn't sew. This is another thing that happens, and I do get quilts in to long arm quilt. So just make sure you're paying attention, because I just wasn't right now. I went to press this. I thought the whole thing was sewed, but look at that. The seam wasn't fully sewed. I thought it was. So somehow, some way, the bobbin didn't catch or something. And I do get it, and then they'll go to sew it into a seam because you thought it was closed. You pressed it and it laid flat for the most part, and then you sewed it into a seam, but the whole rest of it was open. I get that all the time. So make sure you watch your seams. Go back and sew them if you have to, because I'm doing that right here live on camera. It happens. And it comes to me often. You'd be surprised how many people do that. I do it all the time. I'm like, whoa, hey, that needs to be sewn. Usually Scott sees it when he irons me. Oh, dude, this is supposed to be sewn right here. I'm like, yeah. There we have it. I have no idea why that didn't sew, but it is sewn now. Oh, that's where I ran at the bottom. That's why it was that seam. Either way, just so you guys know, a little bit of stuff to pay attention to when you're making quilts. Sometimes it happens. Or a seam will pop open, which I highly, highly suggest you do a 2.5 stitch length so that none of that happens. So your seams don't pop open. All right, that one was on that end and the darker one was on this end. So this means this is the bottom. I'm gonna go ahead and attach this to the bottom. And then I'll do everything in between. I'm stepping on it. And I probably should just sit and put it on my lap, huh? Maybe that would be a smarter idea. So that nothing is tugging or pulling. Unless I purposely tug or pull it. Oh, there it is, right there. Whew, I was like, where the heck does that seam go? It's right there. Right. That side of it. Perfect. Come down here. Fold it together. Line everything up. My fingers are temporary pins. Come down here, hold this together. And I'm going to press towards the sashing. My shirt does match the quilt. With all these blue threads coming through the seams. What's the word for it? I forgot. Shredding. All right. I'm going to go ahead and add the next one on top of that. And the next one on top of that, and so on and so forth, till I get to the top. Kind of just build, however, the easiest way, you know, the way I grab it off the wall. Does it say the pattern what size it is, you said?
No.
What?
Fabric.
Oh, the fabric is Cottage Garden Maywood Studio, right? Yeah. Like I said, it's older. I'm pretty sure it could still be found on Etsy. Although some stores that don't, get new fabrics in all the time, might still have them too. Quilt shops. Okay. Okay. The shot wasn't gonna be a forever fix that week. I mean, it helped my back a little bit, not my booty. Not your booty. So at this point, most people would pin. I am not. I thought about it, and I was like, that just takes too long. So I have decided against it. Just because. I think I do a pretty good job without torturing my fingers. Yeah, that's because this is long. I'm just gonna push it. And I'm still pressing everything towards the sashing. I think I'm going to build that top section and then hook that section to this section. That's probably the better way to do it. Can't seem to press this correctly upside down. Sort of good. I can just stay right there. We're going to hook this nail to this. And this is the one that's got a little bit of fullness to it, but we'll work it in.
Is scrim batting bad for long arm quilting?
Is scrim batting bad for long arm quilting? No. I've been using batting with scrim for 7-8 years. Almost all of the batting I've ever bought, the 100% cotton, has some sort of scrim.
Yeah, they all have some.
They all have like 3%, 5%. We've never really bought anything that has more than 3 or 5% scrim though. So
they all have some.
But they all have some. You can buy them without it though, with no scrim, obviously. It's probably more of the expensive brands. But yeah, it does. It's depends on the brand. They all have it though, mostly. I'm sure wool and like bamboo and stuff have some kind of it too. It's the fibers that hold it all together. That's what scrim is. It's like the pressing it together, you know, how it's made. At least as far as I've learned. But if you're going to be using it in the microwave, when you make bowl cozies, you want no scrim. That's why I tell everyone when I make bowl cozies and gift them, do not put them in the microwave because the batting I use has scrim. I make sure to say that out loud.
It lights on fire.
Yep, it lights on fire. You definitely don't want your microwave lighting on fire. Or any of your family members or friends. But they do make it without, and they do make microwave safe stuff too for people who do make bowl cozies. All right, so we're going to hook this to this. Get the sides. Get all this together, and then we can start putting the borders together. And I'm just going to put the borders on the way I always do borders. I'm not going to mess with their measure it to 68.5 inches and blah, blah, blah. I'm not doing that. I'll just put them on the way I put them on. I'm my own long arm quilter. I don't ever really have waving or any of that with my borders, so. It's hot being under this extra fabric too. You guys are gonna hear me complain all summer. It's just hot.
Yeah, I don't know what you want me to say.
I think I'm just gonna go ahead and get myself some tank tops and embroider my Tiffany QBPN on all my tank tops because I used to only wear tank tops in the summertime on my channel until people started complaining about my tattoos. So I stopped wearing as many tank tops, you know. But you all know I have tattoos, so I'm not gonna cover it up anymore. It's there. Those who don't like it can just move on. I'm no different with or without him. I was the same person before I got him.
How do you cut multiple layers without getting a bow at the fold?
How do I cut multiple layers without getting a bow at the fold? Well, I do have a video called How I Cut My Fabric Straight, and it shows you how in the video.
I was going to say that. You got a video.
I got a video.
You name it, she has a video.
Yep, I have the video. All right. Here. Pressy press, nice and flat. And we'll attach the sashing onto the bottom of this and then hook the two pieces together. Woohoo! And we can start putting the border fabric together. Because I haven't done that either. I just got the selvages still on there and everything. It's all just stacked right here. Leaving it. Let's see. No, I don't want to leave it. It seemed kind of like did not go the way I had hoped. I'm going to fix that. Just one. It's just one that did it. Every now and then, one seam shifts while I'm doing this because I don't pin. And guess what? It's very easy to just rip it out. Resew it. Just hold it a little bit better. Down. Oh. Better. Or not. Yep, better. Instead of it being over a 1/4 inch off, I didn't want it a 1/4 inch off. For some reason it just slipped. And this wouldn't have matched up. And now that matches up beautifully. I'm going to press this and attach the bottom to it, and we can get started on the orders. Woohoo! Getting so far. It's going to get too big too, because I think it's like 60 something by 80, or I don't know how big this is supposed to be. Maybe it's more than 60 something, because that one border I think is like 6 inches. All right, so I'm going to put this right here. Grab this bottom section. Right sides together. Put the whole thing on my lap. Put the thread back in the needle, since, you know, when you work next to it, it just comes right out. The one thing I don't like about this machine when you use the thread cutter, and that's my favorite thing to do. One of my favorite things about this is being able to cut the thread. Just find the first seam. And the reason why I like being able to cut the threads is because when you take it apart yourself, look at how long these are. And then these end up on the front side. And then when I go to long arm quilt, Scott comes and he's clipping all those away because there's so many long threads sticking through the seams from pulling away and then snipping. and I know everyone tells me use leaders and enders, but I don't want to do 2 projects at the same time because I'm doing 2 projects at the same time and I have to put them away because I'm filming something at the same time. So that would give me more than 2 at the same time. That would be a 3rd project if I was to use leaders and enders. And it'd get more done probably, but I'm trying to focus on one thing. For me, my brain. One thing at a time.
Trying to make it calls for fusible fleece, but I don't have that. I have lightweight fusible interfacing. Can I use that instead of fusible fleece?
What is it?
Got a bag I'm trying to make. They say it needs fusible fleece. Don't have fusible fleece. I have lightweight fusible interfacing.
They say fleece because fleece is like batting. You can use batting if you have some batting spray or basting spray, and your piece of batting the size. Use that as your fusible fleece. If you use just the interfacing, it's probably not going to have the thickness that it needs or the stability of the thickness that the fleece was. I hope that makes any sense at all. I have some fusible fleece. It's the same thickness as batting, as 100% cotton batting. So just take that, put some fusible spray on that and then, hook your batting to it instead. Because I have a feeling that the interfacing isn't going to be the thickness that the pattern is requiring for your bag. So just use some batting and spray. Or just quilt it. Yeah, I mean, you don't need spray if you're going to quilt it. I'm going to press this towards the sashing, and then we're going to make some border fabric and start sewing it on.
Sounds good.
Get that out of the way, though.
Sounds good.
I'm not even going to put this on the wall. We're just going to leave it over here at the ironing board. Oh, I meant, yeah, because I got to put the borders around it. Since I have to make those and add them, I might as well just leave this right here. All this. Here's my border fabric. I'm going to go ahead now, stack it all up, and cut all the salvages off, and then I'm going to hook it together. End to end. Same way that I always do, and if you're a beginner, it's actually pretty simple that I do what I do. Why does this seem like too many strips? This is only like 60 patterns down there, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's only like 60
Don't get it.
at the moment.
I got you.
Without borders, it's not very big. Back page. That's second page. That's the back page when this is together. Yeah, it's not even 60 inches. 73. And that one goes first, right? Yep. How many is that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yeah, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah, I don't even need all these pieces. It had me cut all this. 2, 3. Oh, binding 2. That's why. Okay. Haha. Whatever's left over from this goes towards the binding. I knew it would look like there was way too many strips. Yes, I just cut through 16 layers. Yep. All right. I leave them stacked and I just take the bottom one off. That means now every 2 are right sides together. This is the easiest way. Just sew them together. Oh, Margot, thank you. That's very kind of you. And then my last 2, and there's 1 left because that one's right side out. That way, when I snip all of this apart, for those that have never seen me do this, I now have 1 continuously super long strip, which I'm going to throw to the side of me because I don't need it yet. I mean, I don't need to iron it or anything because I'm lazy and I'm just going to start attaching it. Put that right there. Grab the top. Let's find the top of the top. Here. I always do the sides first, then the top and bottom. I don't pull, tug, or anything, and I can continuously sew. I just have to make sure that the step's flipping all my seams because it's flipping my seams. And then the seam that I did not press from the borders, I'm just leaving it, and it pushes it to one side, and then when I iron it, it flattens it out. When I get to the end, I cut it to size, and I don't get wavy borders for doing this because I'm not pulling or tugging, and I'm not like yanking the quilt top, which is making this loose, and I'm not yanking this, which is making the quilt top loose. I'm just letting the machine do the sewing, which helps. And then I just grab the opposite side, and so that I can have equal sides, I take and find the other end of this so that I am sewing my sides on equally. If that makes any sense to you, it's because of where the seams land. I like them to land on the same spot on each side. It's one of those things. We all have that little, thing that we do or like, and mine is making sure the seams land in an equal place. So I know that it's not landing at the edge because I don't like seams at the edge. Wiggling too much for my brain. And then I don't even go to the iron. I literally just finger press right here about, 3 or 4 inches with my finger. And then I take and lay this on here and see where the seam is going to land before I sew it on. Because again, I don't like my seams landing within 2 or 3 inches of an edge. It really irks me when it does. Like right there. See, that seam is going to land at the edge. So go ahead, rip this off of here. Since I backstitched it, it's not going to come off very well. Oh, come on.
When you clean the lint out of your cutter, do you add a little oil?
When I clean the lint out of my cutter, do I add oil? I don't even clean the lint out of my cutter. I'm sorry, I'm so bad at that. I probably should, but I don't. I do when I change the blade. Once the blade is changed, the blade has oil on it, so it's good. Oh, come on, you stupid seam. Really? That's what I get for back stitching. Okay, I don't need that. I just need this. Pick the whole thing up, put it on the table, and sew it on. Nope, I have water. Which I'm going to take a drink of. Turn it around to the other side. Now let's see if I just leave it on this side, where that seam is going to land. Okay, perfect. Press that. I don't know where it's going to land. And there's the rest can go towards binding. I just thought about it right now. That was all the same size, right? Yeah, it was. That's not even 2.5 inch strips. What size are they? I have no idea. They don't look 2.5. Maybe they are. Sorry, I like talking to myself all funky, like, what was I doing or saying?
Okay, we understand.
All right, I'm going to press all this real quick, and then we'll sew on border number 2. Oh, we got to sew that border number 2 together before we sew it on, though. Sorry, it takes a second to press these all the way around. Good thing I have a nice big ironing board. Doesn't take as long. If you're new to my channel and didn't know, we made my ironing board myself out of an ironing board, and it is 64 inches by 26 inches.
An ironing board out of an ironing board.
Yep, we put wood. We put wood on top of a grate ironing board, the kind that's like a grated thing, so that we can drill through the wood and.
And the mesh top.
Yeah, the mesh top. Well, great.
Yeah.
Same difference.
I was just making sure that I understood.
Yeah.
G-R-A-T-E, not G-R-E-A-T.
Yeah. And now it's great. G-R-E-A-T.
Yeah.
It's a great ironing board.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's bolted in through that. We do have a video of it. It's not the best video in the world, but there's a video. Tried to video like almost everything in my whole entire quilting journey, you know? We literally try to catch anything that I've learned, I try to show you guys. Let's just put this in the box, put this in the box, put the binding in the box, and then cut selvages off this. So pretty. So pretty. I'm not a pastel person, but I love it. Slide that over. Probably could cut all 16 layers at the same time, but I'm not going to on this round because I'm turning and stacking them all.
Where's that cup?
And I'm pretty sure there is not enough of this to do a mitered corner on this border. So I'm just going to hook it together straight. All right. Bottom. Excuse me. Is there a tissue pack behind you? Oh yeah, it is right there up on top of the thing.
I did not know that.
I found it when I was cleaning. Thank you.
Those are the goofiest tissues.
I'm going to turn my face off the camera so that I can get the snot that came out on my sneeze. That was a random sneeze too. It wasn't just like, literally just went. Yeah, my nose is running. Go figure. Alrighty, snippity snip. Throw it to the side. quilt top. And again, starting with the sides. See how pretty that is? That's so pretty. I'm the kind of woman, I don't like flowers. I never liked flowers. Like, I don't know why. I mean, I love them. They smell great. They look so pretty. Like, they had some orchids at the grocery store the other day that are blue and purple. Oh my God, they were so beautiful. But they're going to die. So I don't need them. But when I became a quilter, I was like, this is like so perfect because floral fabric. So Scott can, if he wants to buy me, you know, a dozen roses, he could just go buy me a yard of fabric with roses that probably have more than a dozen on it. You know? It's like perfect, you know? And they're not going to die and I ain't got to water them. It's great. I can make something beautiful out of it.
Where do you keep the intended binding?
Where do I keep intended binding? Well, I have hangers that I hang all the quilts on, and some of them have bags that the binding goes in. And it's written on it, it says binding. It's the bag that some of them, like they need a different stage or something, so it hangs in there and it has border number 3, but it was missing a piece, so it just hangs there with it, but it's hanging up with it in a bag. So the binding will go with the quilt. And then all the leftover fabric, since this project had a bunch of it, will go into another box that says project leftovers, make something. And then I never make something with it because I have all the boxes right here so that I could start finishing them. Sometimes I make the back of the quilt out of the fabrics right away and just get it done. Or matching something or other, but in this case, I'm not going to do that because the fabric's really pretty and I can make, you know, like a wall hanging or a table runner or something out of it instead of just throwing it on the back where it won't get seen. Alright. Opposite side. Opposite side. What?
Which machine do you use it to bind?
Oh, I use this machine to bind. I use the Juki for piecing, binding, all of it, except for the quilting. That I do on the long arm. Unless it's some kind of little project, then I'll quilt it on here. Most of that time, it's only straight lines. So. I don't do really any sit-down free motion anymore. I tried it like a couple months ago, and I was like, why did I even start this in the first place? It just makes me hurt. It's not fun for me. And if it's not fun, don't do it. Do it a different way, you know? This is fun for me. Standing to long arm quilt is fun for me. Everybody's different. Oh, come on, foot pedal. Stay where I put you. So my new floor thing isn't as big, so now my foot pedal kind of ends up halfway on the hard thing and halfway on the carpet. And now it makes it sound like my machine is like struggling to go, but it's actually my foot pedal not getting the pressure because now it's sinking into the carpet and halfway on the rolly mat for the chair, which is kind of weird. So it make it seem like it's um, struggling. You hear that? It's like it's struggling. But I can't put it all the way up because then it puts my foot under the chair. More. Put up. Nice and straight. This is a pretty big border, so I want to make sure it's nice and straight. All right, we're going to see where it lands. Open this up. I don't know where that seam is going to land. I mean, that one's near the edge, but it's not on it. Oh my goodness, come on. You have become a big quilt now with just these borders. Okay, that'll work. That's fine. All right, so I just finger press it back right here and start sewing. Finger press. Fold it equally on top of itself. Alright, so the other side on, then I'll press it, and this quilt top can get hung on the wall because it will be done.
Look at that. Only an hour and a half.
Only an hour and a half. Wow. I told you it would take a whole nother video, though, to complete the darn thing. I hate these threads hanging out of the seams. They're driving me nuts. Got to get them before I do anything. although it would have pushed itself back nicely. Oh, I had a lot left over. I could have mitered the corners. Oh well, they're already sewn on. I'm not gonna bother, obviously. That would be weird. All right, let me press it, and then I'll have Scott help me put it on the wall. Look at that. I have a whole strip left. That was definitely enough to miter borders. All right, I'm going to move that completely out of the way. It's probably in the way of the camera thing now. Just pressing towards the border I just added. I tend to just press towards the borders as I add them, you know, each time you add a new border. So give me a minute to press this whole thing. Yeah, it's supposed to be like twin size bed size, wherever the pattern thing is.
I have it. It's supposed to be 70 by 88.
70 by 88, yeah, that'll fit on a twin. That'll fit on a full-size bed, honestly. I don't have my mattress size cheat sheet near me, but if I did, I'm pretty sure that would be enough for a full size to have a few inches on each side. A twin is 39 by 76, I think. A king, regular square king, like a regular king, is 80 by 80. A queen size is 60 by 80. The full size, I think, is 56, 54 by something. By 75, look at that. And then a twin long is like 88 inches or something like that. Twin longs are pretty long. But those are used in like semi-trucks and stuff. Or people that have California King two-sided beds, you know, they use California Kings, the twin longs on each side, you know, for like adjustable mattresses and stuff. Because the length on a California King is longer. So they're like 78 inches instead of 80 by 86 inches or something, you know, for a California King. And I don't know the rest of them all because I know baby toddler little mattresses are small. That's why I don't make them bigger than like 40 by 60, you know, 40 something by 60 inches for little baby quilts. I got 2 more sides to press. I know you guys are staring at a blank wall of anticipation before I hang this up to see it done. I mean, you kind of got the general idea of what it looks like, but in person it looks 10 times better than it does on that picture for the pattern. Oh, this was the last side to press. Oh, I'm done. We're going to hang it now.
Okay, well, once it's done, then I'll turn it back. We want to start point all.
All right, I don't remember which way it goes, but it goes like this somehow, Scott. So come.
I'm coming. Wait 2 seconds.
I'm going to go as high as I could reach, but you don't go as high as you can reach. There, that's as high as I can go. Are you all the
higher
way?
than me.
Are you all the way to the edge? That's good right there, perfect. You just yanked it all out.
What did I yank all out?
All right, right there. Put it straight. inches.
Yes, honey, I know. You tell me this every other day of the week. I know, I know. It looks good. It looks good. Stop. It's good.
I'm trying to smooth the whole thing out.
Oh, they can see it. It looks good.
It's not hung very straight. Look at the whole thing is leaning this way.
You told me not to go very high. You
All right,
went
guys.
higher than me.
It's only crooked because it's not hanging on the wall straight, as you can see. It goes. So much better than the picture. Let me take you close so that you can see my. Oops. That was the total wrong thing. My brain fart. All right. So you can see they nested nicely. Nested nicely. Like this one, this tiny bit off. Really don't care. I've never been someone to care about that. I mean, this one's like exact, but and you can't tell that. Well, I don't remember which one it was. Was it this one? I think it was this row. That was a little bit longer. You can't even tell. It worked right in. So pretty. I love this fabric. It's so beautiful.
It is very
Yeah. Let me put this back in here and I will grab out my dream quilt since everybody wants to see it.
Oh, give you a hand?
Hold on, I gotta find it first. Which one is dream? I think it's this one way over here. Is this one dream? Yep. Let's go out to the living room floor for this.
Oh, okay.
We're gonna go to the living room floor. I'm gonna show you guys the dream quilt and then I'm gonna be done with today's video. Yeah. Turning lights on. Move Thumper toy out of the way because this thing is huge.
Where is Thumper?
I don't know where Thumper is. Welcome to my living room.
Oh, there he is.
Over here is thingamabobber.
The Thumper sighting.
A Thumper sighting. I'm gonna lay this out while he's got the camera away from it. That way we can just turn it and it's on it. Or not.
What? Do you need a hand?
Remember, I said it's a ginormous quilt, my friends. That's why I can't hold it to show it in there.
You need a hand.
There we go. Come on. There we go. That's my dream quilt. Let me take this so that you can get the better. So I had a dream one night and I went straight into my room when I got up that morning and started sewing. Scott was like, "Oh, what are you doing? Blah, 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 blah." And I didn't even talk to him. He thought I was pissed at him. I really wasn't pissed. I had to get it out of my head. So I just started sewing it. And this is all just made up. I came up with all the numbers all on my own to make this.
What size is it? Do you know?
It's, I think it's 100 and something. Hold on, I'll tell you right now, a general roundabout, I think. Oh, it's on here. 108 by 108.
It's big.
That's why I couldn't use 108-inch backing fabric, because this is too big. I actually have to make 108 and then border it. You know?
Yes.
Because this is ginormous. but I think it came out pretty darn awesome. It looks cool because it like goes into itself and comes around and creates this really cool design. All from a dream. And it looks like my dream. And it has a cool piano key border. So it's all strings. Strings, tons of them. There's, I don't know how many different fabrics in this thing. So many different fabrics. Anyways, let's end today's video from right out here in the lovely living room. All right, so thank you guys all for watching the put together of the windy garden pattern. I will not drag it that on no more. It's done. Look at him. See, he knows not to lay on the quilts. Oh, yeah. See, he won't lay on them. When clients send me quilts and I lay them out to make sure everything is legit and I know which direction, he lays next to it, but not on it. So technically, it's still pet free. Anyway, thank you guys all for hanging out with me today. And next Sunday, we'll start something new. Don't know what it'll be, but you'll get to see next week. Bye. Later. Toodles. See ya.